Well, hello everyone, hoping you have a good day. This is World Radio Station, the best radio station where you can learn a lot of world culture. Well, I'm here with my partner, obviously, Lilian. Hey, how are you?
Very excited because in today's program we will talk about one of the most important cultures of our country, the Mexicas.
Well, that's great. What can you tell us about them?
The seeds of Mexica culture were located on the islet within the ancient lake that existed in the Bay of Mexico. Its development as a culture occurred during the post-classic period, and its origin, according to its legend, is the land of Aztlán, which some historians consider they are physically located in the current states of Nayarit or Guanajuato.
Wow, that's very interesting.
It really is. It's a pity that in 1521 the Mexicas succumbed to the Spanish forces, losing hundreds of documents or codices that would have allowed us to know more about them.
The thing is that despite that we have a lot of information about them, in fact, did you know that their society was divided in two social classes? The Pills, a name given to the nobles or high-ranking citizens, and the Maxiables, that were the people of the town.
I didn't know that. What else can you tell us about them?
It's very interesting. The Mexica culture had a society guided by Tlatoani, or Great Lord, as well as administrative officials, and was complemented by artisans and peasants.
Another interesting fact is that its location with a lake means that it had a variety of products for the consumption of the population, as well as for trade. Fish, meats, or varieties of birds and various grains were possible to obtain and harvest almost at any time of the year. The market, Octavio Hospital del Lolco, was the place where the exchange of products was given by barter, that is, exchanging some object for another of equal or lesser value.
And obviously for this culture, the economy was essential. Did you know that?
Yes. What can you tell us about that?
The tribute, the agriculture, and the binomial craft trade constituted the three pillars of the economy of the Aztec culture. Each one was indispensable for the others, and its development depended directly on the war.
Also, the purchases were made on the basis of barter or more often with currency. The Mexican monetary system was quite different from the Western one, as the most frequent exchange values were cocoa, seeds, and blankets, whose value depend on their size and quality. In this regard, it's interesting to note that the blanket represented a large portion of the taxes collected. The agriculture of the Aztec culture was perfectly adapted to the environment. In the dry areas, hundreds of irrigation channels were built to take advantage of the waters of the lakes and rivers, and in the lagoons, where it was not possible to cultivate, an infinity of chinampas were created.
You can see a lot of fantastic information here, don't you think, Lily? Just think that some people think learning this is a waste of time. What more can you tell us about this culture?
I think that our culture is marvelous and surprising. An example of the way of thinking can be reflected in their religions, that they believe that through human sacrifices, they will make their gods happy and satisfied. They believe that in exchange for the sacrifice, the god will provide them good harvest.
The religion of the Aztecs had elementals of human sacrifice in connection with a large number of religious festivals, which were celebrated with the pattern of the Aztec calendar.
Yes, that's very interesting. This religion was polytheistic, that is, they recognized a large number of gods and goddesses. Generally, the Aztec incorporated in their religious practices deities whose cults came from other geographical regions and from other people.
It's very true. Do you know what their main gods were?
Well, I know some things about it, but you can tell us more specifically.
There was Tezcatlipoca, that he was the god of death, Huitzilopochtli, god of war, and Tlaloc, god of the rain.
Those are beautiful names with deep meanings.
I mean, this culture is incredible. What else can you tell us?
We have the Mexica family. Was one of the main bases in the organization of society. In it, the social, economic, and political structure was reproduced and continued through the education and socialization of children. According to the available sources, the family was patriarchal, class, and authoritarian, because the father of the family was the undisputed authority and the woman had to obey him.
And the common age for marriage was 20 to 22 years, and marriage between parents and children or siblings was not allowed.
If we still have that costume, I would have to get married in 2 years. They got married too young.
I know. Do you know that the custom established that the groom's father sought the chosen one and sent an old woman to ask her hand? Then the girl was taken to the house of their future husband, and the blankets were knotted near the fire. They fed each other during the blanket. The maid's parents gave her advice to do what housework well and satisfy the husband, and when they lived the new home.
Wow, well, and also talking about this culture, we need to talk about the artistic scenes we have. What else can you tell us about this?
Have the monumental structure, the Aztec sculptures elaborated with stone and terracotta, had the main characteristic of their monumentality, representing the ideas of strength and greatness of the Mexica people.
Yes, and talking about the structure, did you know that Mexicas use architecture to express their vision of the world? Also, Mexico Tenochtitlan is its best-known urban center. They built important structures around its empire to impose its ideology on the conquered people.
My favorite things in this world is literature. Do you know that Nahuatl poetry was elaborated with both prose and verses and dealt with cosmogonic, historical, mythological, religious, military, and profound themes?
That's very interesting. Do you know what they did to entertain themselves apart from poems?
What did they do?
Well, they played the ball game.
I think I've heard something about that, but please tell us more about this game.
The goal of the game was to get a 3 or 5 kilograms rubber ball to be placed on the side of the enemy team. To make it more difficult, only the feet and hips could be used to move the ball.
Incredible. If in our days it is difficult to score goals just by playing with your feet, I don't want to imagine how difficult it was at that time.
I know, it was a very difficult game.
Anything else you want to comment about this game?
Of course. On each side of the field was a stone ring. The first team to pass the ball to the other team's stone, who was the winner of this game. Because it's one of the most difficult Aztec sports, players wear leather belts to protect themselves.
I think I will not last even 5 minutes.
Me neither.
For telling us about the ball game, I remember another game that was quite popular.
What game is it?
It was called Patoli. The objective of the game was to take the chips to the goal by advancing according to the score or the dice, or to win all the bookings on the contrary. To reach the goal was to go around four arms and reach the starting point, or the previous square. During the course, both the players and the spectators used to make bets on the capture of the opponent, one should win, etc.
It sounds very interesting.
Friends, that was all for today. Hope you enjoyed this radio station. I'm Alan and thank you for listening to Culture Radio.
I'm Lily and have a great weekend.